So I really didn't plan on going yesterday, but it just so happened that I went with my partner, and I just did session 42. Session 42 was unlike any other. They're all always so different. You know, whenever you have this taste or this feel that you know how it's gonna turn out, it just doesn't. So it was a lot of people. It's about 15 people and some familiar faces. We were arriving a bit late, so we had some time to adjust. And then the facilitator, she did a demo. A demo is a very quick throttle. So she puts on a high energy songs, she starts the music, and then she goes around the room and taps some people on the shoulder. They lie down, and she activates them. And some people, they move a lot, some people just lay still, some people, they start to dance or move or walk about. It varies, right? So also what's interesting to know is if you get the chance to lie in the middle of the room, because whenever we do a session, it's like everybody's with their head lying in a circle towards the middle, right? And in the middle, sometimes one or two or three persons can also lie down, and there the current of the energy is like the highest. So if you get a chance to lie there, you should, because you will receive all the circulating energy. It will heighten your experience. So in the beginning, it was very physical. It started out very almost like jerky, because there were like jerking motion, dancing motions, but there was like some kind of tension that needed to be released. So just a lot of sounds came out. A lot of yoga poses were being done, like the bridge, or standing on the head, and then just like shouting. And whenever that happens, you just have to allow it to happen, because when that happens, tension releases from your body and you just become more and more at ease, and the free flow of energy becomes more and more lighter, subtler. So if in the beginning you feel a density in your body, at a certain point, the more that you release, the more that you feel almost like a vessel for energy. There's like just spacious, endless emptiness, and everything just occurring in that, and you feel the vibrations of everything. So a lot of fluting also, like this thing, it happens so often automatically. Like sometimes people ask me, why do you flute? Do you do that on purpose? Do you do like this? Do you do like that? And I'm like, no. Whenever I start to flute, it happens automatically. I don't think about it. I don't plan it. So while the energy was like moving my body, and there was just a dance happening, an inner dance happening, sometimes I just opened my eyes for a little bit, like spontaneously, and looked at people. And whenever I saw people and I was making sound like ha, ooh, the louder the sound became, it's like I had like X-ray vision, and I would see the body of a person. And once the sound penetrated their density, I would see like the inside of their body. Energetically, I would see the state of their chakras. It was very interesting. I would see certain chakras being activated or vibrating in accordance or in coherence with the sound that was coming out of me. It was very beautiful to see, to witness that. But I was not doing it. It's like the energy was just streaming through me. At a certain point, the energy like almost got like electric. It was like a surge of energy, like you're being beamed from the sky, and you're just like, your body is so full of energy, and it's just like flowing from one state to the other, and you have no control at all. You just like in this free dance. It felt so fun, because at a certain point I was just like dancing and dancing and dancing, and it was very also like empowering. But I didn't use my muscles. Like I was stamping on the floor. I was making very interesting movements with my hands, And what I noticed was the energy was just going through certain dynamic positions with my body, and it was making, yeah, it was making almost like, it felt like a ritual. It felt like a ritualistic thing, like spirit was activated and spirit was just vibing in the room. It was beautiful. When that happens, you can only be in awe, like, whoa. Then I saw some people, like I opened my eyes for a bit and I saw some people, my partner who I was with and another person, and I would see that, like, I would feel into their body and I would feel a certain kind of muckiness or energy being stuck there. So all of a sudden, without me doing it, it's just like my hands reached over and my hands started to, like, the visualization came, like the energy was moving into their body and like doing like a kind of reorganization so that the energy was unstuck or unmuddied, so that there was an energy flow going. So that was happening, like a remote energy work without me actually doing it. And at a certain point, I saw a person that I have a deep connection with right now in my life. And I have very deep feelings for her, right? I have very deep visions about her, about being married with her, about having kids with her, about having a life with her. But she isn't feeling the same for me. So that's the reality of the situation. And in me, there's like this almost like devotional love towards her. And so I started to see visions about her. And there was like almost like a sense, all of a sudden, like a subtle sense, like some part of me, right, that because she isn't mutually loving me, it's like it has almost like it's angry, like it hates that she isn't being reciprocal, that she isn't being mutual with her love. And so I want to run away from her. Like that part of me, I became so conscious of that part. And then at a certain point, like, it just like my body, it started to make this huge energy ball. It was like I was standing in the room and there was just like this charging up of this huge white energy ball. And at a certain point, like angels appeared and like they helped to create a bigger ball. And then like in my mind's eye, I saw the ball of energy like go to that person, like encapsulating her whole body, and it was like neutralizing the dynamics between us. It was like, I wish you all the best, I wish you all the good, I send you love and light. And the moment that happened, like I saw a past life. Yeah, like I saw like I went into her with my consciousness into her beingness, and then I saw like a different timeline and I saw different past life where apparently like somebody got killed because I saw a person killing somebody else, and there was anger because of that. There was a deep blame or anger or like something unresolved, and I felt that was dissipating, that was being resolved, that there was like a kind of reconciliation. It was very lightening, like okay, that's done with. And then I saw her and I just kept looking into her eyes, and there was just like this recognition that I just wish the best for you. I just wish the best for you. And then I saw, like, all of a sudden, I started to create more energy balls, and I started to send it to other people, to a person in the room. And yeah, I saw how the energy went to them, and there was also the same thing, like, I wish you the best life that you can possibly have. Because there was some negativity towards a certain person in the room. Like, I felt that. Some kind of negative, like, very hidden layer. And the moment that energy was sent, it didn't dissolve or went away, but I just like, I realized that I chose love and light instead of focusing or fixating on this. Whatever this is, on its own time, this will resolve, I know. And then I started to see that girl back again, that girl who I sent the first ball to. And I just witnessed that, wow, something in me cannot accept her fully the way she is. And then a thought came, like, how could I accept her fully the way she is? And then, like, there was like a kind of neutrality that started to appear. And we stared at each other, and I saw myself having a ring, putting it on her finger. And like the moment I put it on her finger, my body started to shake and vibrate on a very high frequency. And I kept looking at her, and we kept eye contact, and then she put a ring on my finger. And there was like immediately, the moment you feel it, it's like all the cells in the body start to tingle. And then like I saw photos of us being together in a house, our faces next to each other, like holiday photos or photos of us as a couple. It was like, you know, law of attraction, when you visualize, it was like that x 10 times. It was very visual, very strong, very energetic, very emotional, very like the sense experiences were very strong, but it was all happening. I was not doing it by myself. So then I saw myself getting into a car, riding to her, hugging her, and it felt like, oh my God. And then I saw my own house. I saw my house, and I saw all these like furniture reorganization. I needed to throw out old stuff and bring in new stuff. And then like I opened the door and I saw that woman was standing there. So she went inside, we went upstairs, and like we created a kid, right? We had like intercourse, and we had a kid together. And then at a certain point, it just kept going. Like I didn't understand, but it just kept going. At a certain point, I saw like her beingness, and I saw how I was like aware of her inner space, of the content of her consciousness. And all of a sudden there were thoughts streaming through her mind about me, like, I love him too, I want to also be with him, he is my true love, all that kind of stuff. And I'm like, all this time I'm thinking, is this happening, or is this imagining, or is this subconscious material? What is this? This is so confusing. But whatever, I just know whatever happens, let it go, because you just have to witness it. You don't have to resist it, you don't have to do anything with it. And then I saw how all of a sudden my partner that I now have, I saw myself talking to her, saying, we don't have a future together, it's not gonna work out. And my body was speaking it out. I was seeing, like, again, it's like law of attraction, like imagining the whole scene, seeing the person, talking it out, like saying things that were already known in my heart, but now speaking them out to her face energetically, and feeling the release, feeling that it's over and done with, that we have to go our separate ways. And I saw myself going with her to an airport and saying goodbye to her. And it felt so, not nostalgic, but it felt so like, wow, what a beautiful end to a beautiful story. And then I saw like my own house, and I saw that there was now space for this new person to appear, because before there wasn't any space. And I saw like my purpose unfolding. I saw myself like being a coach. I saw myself being a psychotherapist. I saw myself being a KAP facilitator. And all of a sudden, I started to see, like, again, law of attraction kind of style, like being present in the space with the guy who trains you to be a KAP facilitator. I saw myself shaking his hand, hugging him, doing KAP, and it all felt so electric. It felt like, this is done. This is already done. I just have to wait until it manifests in the real world. Then I saw another training that that is offered, and I saw a picture of myself being in a facilitator group with another training. It's Kundalini Bodywork by Elliot Saxby, where they work with Kundalini energy and how to remove traumas and blocks and all that kind of stuff, so that when you have an awakening, you don't have any problems. Because when you have an awakening, and you're maybe not prepared for it, or maybe you have a lot of stored trauma, all that things, they start to release. All the stored energy in the psychic centers, they start to release. So I saw myself like going with my friend there in the summer, getting a certificate. Like, it was all like just like things that wanted to be manifested, but they were like so clear images. Like energetically, they were so like, in terms of senses, it felt like I heard it, I saw it, I smelled it. Well, I didn't smell it, I felt it, I was there. It was all happening. And then I saw myself like, I saw like a person that was also there in the room that I know, and I was looking at at her, and all of a sudden I saw like a possibility that could happen between us. I saw that we were chatting, and I just felt like this sense of, how are you? Oh, how are you? Because there was this sense like she was lonely, or something was not going right, and all of a sudden I saw myself like spending time with her, having intercourse with her, purely on, like just being together physically and enjoying each other and going through that. It was all very visceral. I felt it. I felt we were just having fun, like two people just having physically fun together. It was very innocent. It was very fleeting. Like I felt like, I wonder why that came. And I thought like, I'm not gonna do that, but who knows? And then I saw like a window of text messages of between me and this girl from my visions who I get married to and all that kind of stuff. And I saw her write to me, Igor, I love you. And I wrote, I love you too. And she's like, and I see you. And when I saw that message, something in me felt like, yes. So honestly, I don't know whether this is like something that will come to manifest, or this is just like my subconscious hopes and dreams, or things that I want to occur. I don't know, but we will see. But it is very interesting to just become aware of all that stuff, because it is there. And then like after that, because during that whole period, like I was moving a lot, or I was sitting, I was chanting. At some point there was like a moment where like my energy centers, they start to vibrate very high, and there was like a jewel of light in my heart center, like shining forth, and I felt like this radiance coming from my heart. And then I just sat there very still, like the second half of the session, very still, and there was just a lot of rewiring in my brain, energy going through my brain, like changing things. Like I could feel like something changed, like a lot of pressure. And I started to see my YouTube channel. I started to see new videos that I need to make about what is love, or my way, my foolish way that I went about my spiritual path. At some point, I also felt how the feminine and the masculine energies in me were like being balanced. I felt the two, and I felt how they were like coming together and dancing together in a unison, like they were interdependent on each other. Then I saw myself just looking at people like in my mind's eye and just wishing them the best, wishing them to be happy. And I saw myself like putting hands on hearts of people that I know, like coaching clients of mine, and I was putting my hand on their heart, and there was like love going from my heart into their heart, and it's like their heart was being activated. Yeah, it was very beautiful. I also saw myself like practicing the pranic lifestyle, or not practicing, but I saw that I had gone through the pranic lifestyle training. It's like it's a thing now where you can learn how to recondition the cells of your body to live off prana, so that you don't have to eat, you don't have to drink. You can, and it's up to you, but you don't have to. All the cells in your body can be energized by prana. So this is a thing that's come up quite often in my sessions, and I'm eager to try it out to see whether it has any value to me. I think it will. At some point, I saw myself at home on my laptop writing a book, like my life as an immigrant, because I came here from the Ukraine to Belgium when I was about 10 years old. It was a very difficult time for me growing up, because I didn't know how to be. I didn't know how to fit in. I never felt like one of the people here. I always felt like this separation. And that story, like I don't know why, but apparently, like I saw myself writing that book, like it was being written. So maybe that will happen in the future. And then a moment came, which was very strange. Like I saw the partner that I have now, and I saw her like having some kind of health issues and being in a wheelchair, and I saw myself pushing her in a wheelchair, and I thought like, whoa, will this really happen? Can this be prevented? Like these kind of thoughts appeared, and I was like, I don't even know what to do with this. At a certain point, like I was just sitting there, and the facilitator came next to me, and she started to do like this, kittling my heart, like just doing like this. And the previous session that I had, whenever she did that, there was like some kind of block in my heart. So in one of my sessions, I saw that there was a fear to fall in love, and my heart was like being constricted by this wire, by this protective fence. All of a sudden now she started to do that. I sat up, and then I laid down, and like my whole body started to tingle, and my whole body became weightless. It was like as if all of a sudden I became weightless, and I was falling throughout space. But there was this feeling of love, of unconditional love, and I was just falling in the wave of love. Yeah, like I could feel how I was carried by a wave of love, and I was just falling through it, and I had like this, not orgasm, but like this complete love experience in the whole of my body, like all my cells. I was like shivering out of joy, because it was so exquisite. It was so full. It was like, wow, this is what it is to fall in love. It's so beautiful. It's like the wave of love is being showered over you, and it's like it completely embodies everything in you, and it takes you, and you're one with it. And you just feel, how can I describe it? It feels like all the cells in your body are singing with joy, with happiness, and it's just like, like that kind of feeling, like every cell in your body is like that. At a certain point, after that like happened, and I just lie down basking in that, like I started to see angels appear near me. One by one, they started to appear near me, and they were like concentrating around me, and they were like filling me up with energy, and I felt myself like being like filled up with energy, and all of a sudden, like my energetic body, it erupted like a volcano, like poof, and like my hands were glowing with light, and like I stood up, like, and I made like these poses, from one pose into another. It was so fast, so energetic, so perfectly aligned. I thought like, oh my God, am I gonna fall? Am I gonna like stumble? Am I gonna whatever? Am I gonna step on somebody? But it was just all happening like so strong and so fast. And I started just to sing Elohim, 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 Elohim. Yeah, it was just like, yeah, just like being full of energy, full of love, full of aliveness. And then I just sat down and some kind of rewiring happened in my brain. And while I was sitting, it's so strange. I was sitting there, and all of a sudden, like, I became aware my body is sitting here. Like, that's one layer. And I become aware my emotions are here. My thoughts are here. But all these things, they change. They change, they feel different, thoughts are different, everything passes, everything changes. But here, there's something that never changes. And it was like my experience of how I am now, my embodiment, it was like a doll being like put out, and I could see all the layers, and I could feel my inner layer, my true layer. And I was just sitting as that, like in perfect peace and silence, and just aware of all these other layers being there, and realizing I'm not that, I'm not that, I'm that which never changes. It was a very beautiful experience. Then rewiring continued. It's like it was like an energy, like an electric energy coming into my brain, and like rooting me into the ground, like rooting me deep into the ground. And I was like an antenna that was rooted in the ground, and the energy could like go into me and disperse itself, and emit frequency, emit energy. Yeah, it was like all of a sudden I was just an antenna. Yeah. It's, I mean, the session itself, it was very, very strong. At certain points, I just felt carried by it. Honestly, I had thought about it, like, will it be like the previous session? Will it be like the session where I have some kind of experience with the facilitator? But no, it wasn't. There was an inner process. Things were happening, and it was all about, yeah, refurnishing my apartment, and refurnishing my life, right? A partner with whom I have to face and tell the truth to, and then, yeah, be open to new things, and all those other visions about the woman or the other things. Like, if they come to be, they come to be. I'm not gonna try and force to make it happen, or think like, oh, I got these instructions, so I need to do that. No, I'm just gonna stay in my flow, in my energetic flow, and see if the opportunity arises. Because what I notice sometimes is, after a session, what you see in your visions, or you have the energetic experience of, like, that situation can be recreated in your life, and all of a sudden you have an opportunity to either go through it or to run away from it. And I've had this before, because it's like this separation that I need to go through with my partner. It's been coming for a very long time, and the only thing that was stopping it was my fear of ending it, my fear of letting her go, a nostalgia about it, my fear that she would be harmed, that she would be worse off without me. And yeah, I'm so grateful for this opportunity to become aware of all these layers, to become aware of all these inner dynamics, which can either lead me in one direction or another. And when you're aware of them, it changes Like the fact that you are already aware of certain dynamics in yourself already changes your experience, because you see what's driving you. And yeah, honestly, like all these visions about like the woman that I had, I don't know if it's a soulmate, a twin flame, or whatever. I don't wanna believe it, because I don't wanna put my hopes up. I don't wanna believe in something that's maybe not real, but I do know there's a connection. I do know there's something there. But I know my mind, whatever my mind comes up with, it can be, well, it can be wrong, because reality is never how you expect it to be. Reality always changes. So it could be at one moment the way my mind thought about it, but because reality has changed, or the choices of people have changed, or circumstances or dynamics have changed, whatever I had thought about it, to let that go and see and work with what is presented in my reality. Yeah, it was a beautiful night, so energetic, and for me, like, it was a big breakthrough, because I'd done 2 weeks ago a session with this facilitator, and I remember my heart was closed. I was afraid to fall in love, and now it was free. My heart is free to fall in love, to be, to sing, and I just feel so grateful to be guided, to have this inner guidance, like guiding me to do certain trainings, guiding me to do certain things, like giving me these ideas to write a book. Like why not? Like everything is like, I mean, everything is like an opportunity to experiment, to try something new. It's all new possibilities, because we can get so fixated in ourselves, in who we think we are, that we can't go beyond thinking or imagining who we could be, because it's like our imagination of who we could be is still limited by our perception of who we are, our past perception. But if you go beyond this perception and something new can arise, it's exciting, but it's also scary. It's scary because you have to change. Things in you don't have to change. Things in you have to be let go of. Things in you have to change. Things in you have to shift. And those are all control mechanisms. Yeah, amazing session. Afterwards, I was going home with my partner, and I was talking to her, and the thing that she got, like the message, was, yeah, I think we need to really separate. Like, that's the thing that I got in my session, that we need to separate. And she said that, and I said, I also saw things about you in my vision, but I didn't want to tell it to her. Like, it didn't feel right to tell her, like, I saw you being in a wheelchair, and I saw, like, us having a conversation where I tell you that we need to separate, and I saw myself saying goodbye to you. Like, it felt so, I don't know, it felt a lot. It felt like a lot in that moment. So, yeah, if it happens, it will happen probably in the near future. Some weeks ago, I would have been very scared by this, or confused by this, because I know that our relationship isn't working, but then I have all these other visions about this new woman, about this new love with whom I have like kids and all that kind of stuff, and something in me is like, it's trying to seek for evidence on why it's not real. It's like, because my mind cannot let go of it, right? It's like it either has to mean something or doesn't have to mean something. I need to investigate. I need to prove. I need to confirm. I need. It's like the mind's reaction to grab onto things. But it's like the facilitator said. after a session, whatever happens in the session, it's beautiful, you know, okay, but leave it behind you. Trust that whatever energetic changes have been made, they're in you. They happened on one of your bodies, your emotional, your physical, your mental body, your energetic body, whatever. It happened on one of those bodies, and just trust that whatever process has been started, whatever shift, whatever movement has been started, that after the session, it will start the integration process. It will start to manifest itself and make the necessary changes in your life. And yeah, just ground yourself, eat well, don't drink, because you're in a high frequency now, and stay in that high frequency so that the energy can work longer. The longer you stay in a high frequency, the longer the energy is actively like working, and you feel it. If you lower your frequency, the energy may still be there, and the changes are of course still there, but you might notice like some things be more subtle. So the feeling of confidence or inner strength, or the feeling of this presence, or being at home, or being aligned, it might like go a little bit, like become more subtle, and after 2 weeks or 3 weeks you might fall down of it, but that's okay. It's okay. It's all about a process. For me, what I like to do is every day I like to do like a chakra meditation, so that I just balance all my chakras, so that the energy streaming through me, whether I'm doing KAP or not doing KAP. So yeah, because I know it's all about being aware of what your body needs, what you need, and what your energy needs, and giving yourself that. Like, be aware of what you need and give that to yourself. Anyway, it was it was a fun session, a really fun session, like falling in love. Falling in love, that's what they say, right? It's uncanny. It's so uncanny, just lying on the mat there, and all of a sudden just like starting to fall, but in joy, in fun, in love, and looking at your body. Like, I even opened my eyes and just like I felt weightless. I felt like, whoa, I was like flying in love.